So good morning all of you and welcome back. Today we are going to speak about an individual differences, that is elementary psychology. Okay. So what is this individual differences? Why individual are different from each other? Am I audible to everybody? Okay. So why are they? Yeah, very nice, very nice. So individual differences, like how each individual differs from each other, like how exactly they are different, indifferent. So we are getting to know the reasons behind it. Why are they different? Why are they different? Never knows, because there are few factors influencing the differences. This might be one of the reason. We can just tell in a science, we can prove the science, but we cannot judge and find out a sum of science. It is little difficult in a psychology. So this might be one of the reason why the person is indifferent, the individual is indifferent commonly. So these are all the reasons we are going to look into. Physical differences. So physical differences, I don't have to tell you about much about it. So there is height, weight, color, skin texture, arms, feet, mouth, nose, facial expression, whatever. They are different in this. And mental differences. So mental differences is like something who is creative, imaginative, thinking, expressive and reasoning, or all these things are there. They are different in these areas. So emotional differences, that is anger, jealous and fear, and all these things is an emotional differences. Differences in interest and aptitudes. The interest differs from individual to individual and their aptitudes also. Differences in attitudes, beliefs and opinions. There are different attitudes, beliefs, they believe in something and they have a different opinion also. So difference in learning, differences in learning. So everybody will not have the same capacity of learning. Some will be a slow learner, some will be a fast learner, some will be extraordinary, some will have some IQ power, some are an average. So it differs a lot. Differences in social and moral development. So somebody might not have the social life at all, somebody might have a lot of social life. The morality, the ethics, few people are very much aware of the morality and ethics and few people are not. So these are all the differences of an individual. Why this differences is going to take place? Yaake ee tara differences ide? Each individual, why they are physically different, why they are mentally different, why they are emotionally different, why their interest and aptitude differs, why their learning is different, why they are different. Even though in a same hospital around 30 kids are born together, 30 kids are born together within a span of 1 hour of time in the same hospital, but all the 30 kids are different from each other. They will not be the same, even though the date of birth is same, even though the age is same, even though the school is same, even though the teacher is same, everything is same. Whatever the facilities they are getting, it is same in the school and in general in the society or whatever. But there are some differences. Why they are different? Correct? They will be different for 100% sure. All the 30 kids will be different. Correct? They might resemble each other. Iವರು ಅವ್ರ ಥರ ಅವ್ರು ಇವ್ರ ಥರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. We can tell them like these people, we can make the mentality of these two is one and the same anta helbode vartu. These two are one and the same anta we can never tell, isn't it? Why that differences is there? Because of hereditary matters. Their parents matters actually. Because of the environment of their family, my family and my sister family or my brother family. So we follow a different, even though we follow the same culture, our routine is different. Even though she is my own sister, her routine is different, her taste is different, her education is different, her husband's work, the profession is different. Even though it is same, but we are different. The parents are different. Environment is different. Different castes and countries. They are into different castes, religion and countries. Okay. Age and intelligence. Age, we were speaking about the same age now. So sometimes when age differs 100%, everything differs and the intelligence also differs. Education, economic condition. Education in the sense, how much knowledge are we giving to them? How much they are getting the exposures? How much they are getting to go out? How much they are outgoing? ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾಲೆಜ್ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಸಮಟೈಮ್ಸ್ like we feel like outgoing and learning and getting educated, join for some classes, join for training. For example, I can give you this example. If I have to be a like pilot, if I have to be I have an ambitious, I have done aeronautic engineering, I have done my aeronautic engineering, so I'm too ambitious. My aim is to become a pilot. Is that easy to become a pilot? Even though I am interested, is that easy? No, we have to spend a lot of amount. For 1 hour of training. For example, you have to learn a car driving. They will charge around 5,000 or 4,000. I don't know how much the travels people are collecting. So to get a license with the driving, they charge you 5,000 rupees. Correct? That to like half an hour or 20 minutes of drive in a car to make you learn the car driving. Correct? They make you to learn, they charge this much. But 1 hour of pilot training, to just lift a 1 hour training for a pilot, it costs you 1,000 lakhs together nowadays. It's a lakhs together. Even though I have enough knowledge, even though I am ambitious towards it, even though I have a knowledge towards it, something will not be reachable for us. Namge adu reachable irodilla because of our economic and financial conditions. And sex differences. Sex differences, and like all the job and profession which is been done, whatever the profession you call it as, all the job rules will be satisfied by both human and women and men. Ellaru ella kelsanu ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, but outcome is important. Correct? Outcome is important. For example, we are speaking about a mason. So I am also a mason, my husband is also a mason, who are working a laborer. Okay, we just think like that. So whatever the outcome which is been given by my husband, it is difficult for me. I can work, I can do, but competing towards him is little difficult for me, because they are physically they are very strong. We can do anything and everything, but outcome will differs, and sex also differs. Everybody can do everything, but few things are there is no outcome. Adrinda results nimge ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಿಚನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಅಲೌ ಅವರ್ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? It's not possible for them. So sex also matters a lot. Individual differences and their education. So provision for individual differences in school. How exactly this individual differences can be rectified a little bit. Understanding the individual child very well. You have to understand. That is why when the class teacher changes in the school, all of our children are affected. So 3 months once, if the class teacher is being changed, for her to understand their class children, it will take minimum one. For example, there are 45 students or 40 students in one particular class. To recognize their name, to remember their name itself, it will take minimum a weeks together. Don't you think so? 1 week ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? 40 ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹೆಸರು ಕಲೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ 1 ವಾರ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಬರೀ ಹೆಸರು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ 1 ವಾರ ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, what about understanding their personality? He is dull, he is smart, he is weak, he is brilliant, he is good at heart, he is good at story, he is good at he is very outgoing, he is smarter, he is intelligent, he is confident. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಒಂದೊಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. To understand that, we need some time, isn't it? We need some time. That is why this class teacher should not be changed very often. So this is a very difficult and then hectic job. We have to understand the individual, then only we can give some results in the sense what? The outcome. We can make them to achieve something. Ability of grouping. So you should have an ability of grouping them. Individual understanding is different and treating individual is different. Never treat individual. Okay, never treat individual. Maybe good or maybe bad. So if you are treating good also, for example, if few people are bad, then they will take it for granted. If you are taking bad also, if some people are good, they will feel bad. That my madam is considering everybody. So ability of grouping is very, very important. Flexible curriculum in the sense what? Curriculum should not be so very strict. Curriculum in the sense, it's a combination of academics, art, craft, dance, music, sports, physical education, intellectual education, and their hobbies, whatever it is. It should be a combination. Always study is also very boring. Always doing an activity, they will be lacking behind with their education. So, and if you are just making them to learn, if you are making them to learn the music, art, dance, craft, everything, there should be something where they can showcase themselves in an annual day. The rewards and punishment, the gifts and aims, everything, it should be a combination, sometimes this and sometimes that. So, if it is the same thing on a daily basis, they will lose the interest also. And different methods of teaching. So, you have to teach in a different method, utilize more and more different methods, not on a same method if you are teaching for your children. For example, you are all listening to me is theoretically, correct? You are able to listen to my voice, you are able to see me, some of you are able to see me, it is something like that, correct? But you are all elders, you are all grown up, correct? So, this much you can understand. But always if I take a book and start explaining like this for the small children, it is not difficult, they get very bored, it is very difficult for them to understand, they do not want always sitting activity. I will tell you one important thing actually. Children are so very active by 2 years till 8 years, they tell that it is very difficult to control them, correct? 2 years till 8 years, it is very difficult to control them anta heltare teachers. Yake andre they have lot of energy within themselves, the energy has to be burnt, the energy has to go out of their body, correct? Ashtu beka avrige physical activity, they cannot sit quiet like that, it is not a children's problem, it is their age and developmental problem. So, always you should make sure at least from 2 years till 8 years, at least 2 hours. For example, if they are going for a school for around 6 hours, morning 8 to 3, 8 to 2 or 8 to 1 or whatever. So, if it is shorter period 8 to 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, 1 hour physical activity should be there, half an hour break for their lunch should be there, it is something like that, half an hour practical activity learning, playway method should be there. So, only 1 hour or 2 hours, maximum 1 hour, that's in bits and pieces like 20 minutes or 20 minutes or 20 minutes after a break. So, 20 minutes after that snacks breaks, 20 minutes after that practical activity break like the art or craft or something. After 20 minutes the physical break, it should be given like this, then only you can grab their attention. If not, sitting in the class, sitting in the class, obviously will not be able to control, it is a waste of for you, just for the sake of teaching you are seeking, that is nothing else is going to their mind. For maybe for the first 20 minutes they can grab it, so after that whatever is doing, you are doing for the sake of doing it, that is all. So, they will never understand anything. So, you have to adopt a different method according to their age, and education according to the sex differences. So, you should educate according to the sex differences, that is what they are telling. So, after 7th standard, after 6th standard, you have to explain, you have to divide the class girls and boys, and you have to explain, not divide the class in the sense like I am not asking about not to conduct a co-ed education, you can conduct a co-ed education, but you have to give them a different education on different aspects, maybe like puberty, maybe that sexual age, maybe that sexual organs which is been growing, some differences which is going to take place in their body, all those things, the good touches and bad touches or many things are there, accordingly you have to educate them both also. Keep an eye on the physical limitations of the child. So, always you have to keep an eye on the physical limitations of their physical activities and other measures. Size of a classroom should be limited, so it should be a very less children so that the teachers can concentrate. There should be a sympathy, there should be a physical activity like drill practices and something like that, and there should be a proper guidance for the dull and special children. Already as I told you, for dull students should not be considered as dull and put on under a same teacher. Ade teacher kelgadane dull students na hakidre, the teacher also is bored, the teacher also would start facing the boredom, and already whatever she has told again and again she has to tell the same thing, it's not possible. It will be an imposition for the child for sitting extra hours and doing the same thing multiple times. It will be more boring for him, it will make him so rigid that anyhow like I have to attend the special class, so I have to write 3 times there, let me neglect here in the class. It is something like that. So, special dull students should be thought or taken care in a different way. Grouping should not be done actually. Emergency engaged in the field of education should be cooperate with an emergency. Mutual cooperation would be enabled. Realize the targets of education. You should know the purpose of education. You should know the targets of education and purpose of education. Okay. So, now we spoke about the individual differences, how exactly it should be handled in the school. Why are they different? Why are they different? How sexual differences or many differences we got to know about it through hereditary or family. There are a lot of reasons, like each and individual are different. There are a lot of reasons behind it. These are all the reasons behind it. Don't undergauge your children, don't underestimate your children, but simultaneously don't neglect them also. You should see, once you are a teacher or a mother or whomsoever it is, you are linked with that child's life, that means it is a lifetime commitment for you. It's not like that you cook you cook for one particular day, so my cooking is done, my work is done, so I am free. It is not like that. It is not like that. Your work will not be done once for all. If you are a teacher or a mother, it is a lifetime commitment for you. Maybe the kids will be around 2 years or 10 years or 40 years or 50 years, until unless you are alive as a mother, especially as a mother, it is a big commitment for your child. It is a big commitment for you having a child. So keep that in mind. We can never escape from this. We can never neglect. We can never tell that my responsibilities is done. My child is my son started working and he has settled down in USA, so my responsibility is done. Is there anywhere like that? Is there anywhere like that? People think like that. He is settled, he is married, he is enjoying his life. Let me I have no responsibilities. So do you think so? That's all is the responsibility? Then they would have really departed from parents and the children. They would have departed their life and her like we parents, as a parents, like we will be leading our life. It is not like that. We are interlinked. Again, there will be lot of mistakes they will be doing after their marriage, after their wife, after their children. Until unless we are there alive, it is a commitment. Keep that in mind. Okay. So next, guiding students with special needs, education and exceptional children. There are 3 different kinds of children, that is exceptional children, gifted children and special needs children. We will just look into it, what are all those. Okay. Various types of children come to school for education. Most of them are normal and have a normal intelligence. Beside the category, there are others who have exceptional physical and mental traits. Traits in the sense like a character. Traits anta alli mention madidare, hagandre character anta artha. These children differ to a marked degree in one or more characteristics from other normal children. They are therefore termed as an exceptional children. These children differ to a marked degree, so they are called as an exceptional children. Exceptional children may be defined as those children who differ so much from an average children in their physical, mental or a social characteristics, and they cannot progress under normal conditions, and some special environment has to be created. Okay, what do you mean by exceptional children? Exceptional children, normal children ge nange difference heltira dayavitu? Can you just tell me the differences? Yes, very good. Normal. Very nice, very nice. So they will be in their own world. Okay, they will be in their own world. They don't want to behave very normal. Okay, sometimes it might be, we might call them as a slow learners. We might call them like they have not got their enough growth and development according to their age. Sometimes we call it as an introvert children. Sometimes we call it as an autism children. Sometimes we call it in a different manner, hyperactive children, or like whatever, different names is being given according to their characters. So sometimes they will be too rude from the normal child. They will not know the consequences of the they will not know the consequences of the situations at all. They try to behave very hard, okay, rigid, or not at all speaking, or they don't want to speak, they don't want to listen, or not at all speaking, or speaking continuously, they don't want to stop. Okay, it is something, they behave very indifferent apart from a normal child. So they are markedly differ from normal children. Okay, and emotional, social, mental makeup should be done. They need a special environment. There might be improved normal schools. In a normal schools, instead of a normal school for that kind of a children, the special school is required for them, so that the teacher gives lot of time for that particular child and makes him to be perfect in one particular field. Okay, for the normal children, whatever we tell, they will be able to accept it according to their age. The education will be done. For the same ABCD, we have to make them to learn. For exceptional children, the same phonics, the same alphabets should be very difficult for us. It will take lot of time, so they need a special school. Normal time constraint ginta jaasti bekagatte. They need a special school. I am giving you an example of alphabets. There are many things like this. So sometimes they will not be able to do their own work, they will not be able to use the toilets on their own, they need somebody else always, somebody's support always. Okay, so they are very slow, they are very dull, or an autistic child, they will not be able to respond very fast. There are many reasons like this. Classification of an exceptional children. So who are those? Yav thara handicaps, visually imperatives, that is like they will not be able to see, hearing problem, speech impairments, and physical impairments. Okay, physically they might be challenged or handicapped, they might not have any part of the body, they might be losing one part of the body, maybe hands, maybe legs, or maybe whatever it is, maybe eyes, maybe ears, maybe speech, maybe physical imperatives. So these are all the reasons behind it. And children with intellectual differences, gifted children in the what? In the sense what? For example, a 2 years child is performing on a stage with a very fluent language, a music or a speech or whatever. So that cannot be done by everybody. 2 years child cannot speak in many cases. 2 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ತುಂಬ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತೇ ಆಡೋಲ್ಲ. 2 years child standing on a stage, singing some song, giving some speech, expressing herself or whatever it is, that means they are all gifted children. Gifted anta ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. What are these? Children will study that in future now. Children with personally imbalanced, emotionally unbalanced children, so socially unbalanced children, learning retarded children, we are going to learn about these also. So like exceptional children, intellectual differences, and personally imbalanced. So we are going to look into all these three kinds of categories now. So mainly now we are going to speak about the gifted child. Okay, so what are we going to learn about a gifted child? So their IQ level will be always, what did I tell you, what will be the IQ level of a normal person? I told you in the class, before class, correct? While I was conducting the child psychology, can anybody tell me what should be a normal IQ level of an pardon? Five 5% is the brain utilization. IQ level from 1 to 100, how much should be the IQ level for a normal person? If we have to consider him as a normal, what should be the IQ? Very nice, superb. It is 90 actually. So the brain utilization percentage is very less actually. We utilize very less percentage of brain. IQ level, but we have a capacity of 90, but we are utilizing 5% of brain. That is different and this is different. And IQ is an intelligent coefficient. Okay. So who has above 100 till 140 IQ level, whoever has this IQ level of 100 till 140, they are called as a gifted children. Albert Einstein, correct? Have you heard about Albert Einstein? Okay, you have heard about Albert Einstein, correct? So people something like this are called as a gifted children. So they will be very good at academics, they will be very artistic, they will be linguistic, they will be mechanically good, their music will be good, their physical and social development. These are all the fields they might be good and an achievement. Not all this in combination. Some might be good at academics, some might be good at artistic, some might be good at linguistics, and some might be good at mechanical, some might be a scientist, some might be an astronaut, some might be something else, somebody might invent something. It is different, okay? Social development also. And according to the Paul Whitty, academic bent of mind have a large accurate vocabulary. Okay, science meaning vocabulary is nothing but a science meaning communication. Sign, S-I-G-N-S, signs, okay, meaning communication, whatever is called as a vocabulary. These are all called as a gifted children. So the IQ level above 100, they are called as a gifted children. Education importance for gift. How do we treat them as a gifted children? Namge heng gottagate our gifted children anta. What kind of education should be given them? Their proper education will be enabled to realize the values of our democratic state. So we have to utilize these kind of children for our, we should know like, so realize the values of our democratic state. Democratic state in the sense what? The freedom, the justice, whatever they are going to speak about. And this special talent is highly limited and must be carefully developed. So ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ತರ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. They should be highly limited and must be carefully developed. ಇದನ್ನ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ towards the right route we are taking them, andre they are going to become wonders in our society, wonders for our country. So, historical and psychological researches have established that gifted children are responsible for all human progress and civilization. ಇಂಥ ಗಿಫ್ಟೆಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ನೇ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ದೇಶನ ಆಳ್ವಿಕೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ಅಥವಾ ದೇಶನ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ಅಥವಾ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲಿ ಸೌಂಡ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರಿಯಲಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅವರ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡನ್ contributed to our country or our nation or world or whatever. We need proper leadership in a business, education, research in the government, and it is the category of children who can provide the future leadership. So, we are going to look into the methods of educating the gifted children. Education according to their mental power. First, in case we have to select few people in the class. If at all, if you find that they have a very good IQ level, they should be departed from the class. In a normal class, they feel very boring. In a normal class, they will do very fast, they do the things very fast, and they will start troubling the others also. You should first identify them. If the IQ level is not 100 and 140 or something, maybe 110 or 15 also, you after once they are doing with their work, you can give them the managing the class or corrections in pencil, and then you can correct in a pen. So, they should always be engaged, or else it will be a problematic also in the class. All of them can be put in a separate section. It will also develop a spirit of competition among them. You have to identify schools like there is a strength for first standard, there is a strength of around 600 people in one of the school. I don't want to name the school. The section is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay. So, in each class there are 40 students in the sense. 400 minus 40, how much is it? Almost 360 students. Okay, in one particular first standard. In this case, we have to identify the gifted children, and we can make a separate classroom for them. So, highlight creativity, scientific investigation, emphasis of higher and deeper learning, initiative, books which might give them a wider version. So, if you are training on all these areas, they are going to become a real asset of our country. Okay. So, the learning goes like this: long duration, average period of time, work in shorter period of time. You have to consider where exactly they will be put into. It is a long duration or an average duration or average period of time or a work in a shorter period of time. So, you have to understand this better. So, these kind of educations is been given in United States of countries. As I already told you, so there will be a semester basis. If you want to discontinue, you can discontinue for around 6 months and take a rest and do whatever. If you are unhealthy, or if you want to go for a world trip, or you have your personal commitments, you can take a break. Or somebody is able to pass his semesters by 3 months. If you are just going and approaching the university telling that I am ready, university or an education department telling that I am ready to take the 6th standard exams, I am ready to take the 7th standard exams, I am ready to take the 8th standard exams within 3 months gap, and I don't want any gap. This kind of education is provided in United States, as I have already mentioned you. So, rapid promotion, gifted children should be promoted also. If you have observed in our days, so there was a promotion. If somebody is scoring 100 out of 100 or something like that, so in 3rd standard, they used to skip the 4th standard and put them for the 5th standard. Promotion, okay, they used to give the promotions. Nowadays that is not happening. The schools doesn't have so much of time to identify all these things. So, they are fed up of collecting the fees only nowadays. They do not do all this kind of thing. And avrige ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬೇಸಿಗೆ ಶಿಬಿರ, lot of activities they should be involved in. Okay, summer club activities, some science clubs, some social clubs, or many different clubs or many different activities they should be involved in. So, that is also been implemented by our country, like summer camps. Have you heard about the summer camps, nature camps, summer camps, scouts and guides? Many things are already been implemented to our country also. It was working very well also. Somebody used to put the children for swimming, some for the cricket, some for some summer clubs, some for some badminton. So, continuously they were involved in these 2 months in a summer in one of the other activities. So, this kind by doing this also we can keep engage the gifted children. So, poor gifted children should be given special scholarship and pursuing their studies. For example, they will be gifted according to their intelligence, correct? The IQ level will be 100 plus, but economically they are not sound. They will not be able to afford few things. For them, the scholarships should also be given. The scholarships is being given in many schools and many like private institutes, many NGOs, the scholarships is being given. So this should be continuing, and we have to encourage the poor gifted children. They are gifted, but they are economically not sound and financially well. Contact with eminent persons. For these children, what you have to do, always you have to fix an appointment with the successors andre yaru, maybe the cricket players, maybe the scientists, maybe the people who are working in NASA, the people who are working some other science club, the people who are working in some other technical department. Always you have to fix up a meeting for these kind of children, so that their thinking, thoughts, imagination, their IQ level will go in a right direction, right manner. They can utilize their intelligence, that is intelligence coefficient and IQ level will be well utilized, and they are going to become assets for our country. So total development of a child, that is physical, intellectual, emotional and social aspects will be in a balanced manner for this gifted children. So now we are going to look into gifted children. I hope you all understood. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೌ ದ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್, ಹೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಎಂಗೇಜ್ ದೆಮ್, ಹೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಕಾಮಿಡೇಟ್, ವೈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಗಿಫ್ಟೆಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, why exactly they are called as gifted children. You got to know everything about it. Now we are going to study about a backward children. Backward. We are not going to speak about a dull children, dull alla, who has autism, who has speaking effect, who has that hearing problems. Athardoralla, backward children. They are very normal like other children, but they are not success in achieving the normal life. They are very normal in IQ level, but they will not be able to meet their requirements. What kind of children are they? So generally a backward children or a slow learner, hence low academic achievements is various schools subjects where are normal of his grade or age. Okay, second thing is their IQ level will be 90 to 100, no doubt about it. Some inclined performance of an anti-social act, our kallatanadalli, theft ali, kallatana, theft. So we are speaking about the people who are staying in a below poverty line, under poverty line, or they are touching the poverty line. Economically sound iradilla, maybe slums alli irbodu, maybe like what do you say, in Bombay and all, people will be staying in small jopdis alli irbodu, jopdis, slum, ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ತರದ್ ಒಂದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂಥ ಜನ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಎಕನಾಮಿಕಲಿ ದೇ ಮೈಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ sound, ಅಥವಾ parental issues ಇಂದ, parent or departed parent or a divorced parent or a nuclear family or one who doesn't have the social life. That's what we are going to look into. Okay, anti social acts ಇರೋರು ಕೂಡ backward children ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. And below normal students, social behavior ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋರು, when they doesn't know to behave, when they are not trained to behave, ಅವ್ರ ಒಂದು ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ಸ್ನೇ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ, ಅಂಥ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಥರ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ they does not learn from a normal classroom method. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಮೆಥಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಲರ್ನ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ದೋಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬೀನ್ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್. ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ಸ್ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬೀನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್, ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ, ಹೂ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಲೈಫ್, ಹೂ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್, ಹೂ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, who doesn't have anybody. Only I have seen many people who are staying in an apartment in the 13th floor, 12th floor, 15th floor and 50th floor also people will be staying. They doesn't have a social life at all. They will never come down from their floor for years together. They will not come down from their floor until unless the child is studying in some school, that's good enough. But a school cannot satisfy your social life. School can never satisfy your social life. You should have a better family, you should have a good family environment, you should have your friends, you should have your relatives, you should have your neighbors, you should be outgoing, you have to meet lot of people, then only your social development is going to be met. Then physical deformities, whoever is facing a physical deformities, maladjusted child, as I told you, the theft, whoever is doing a theft, whoever is doing a crime at a very small age. So these are all the results of a backward children. This is what we are going to speak. Okay, how do we do this now? How to avoid this now? So how to train these kind of children? Shorter attention and poor retention time. So when attention is not being given, this is going to take place. Poor judgment about the facts he is facing, and so you treat them as very common. He is like that from the birth, let him be like that. It's not like that. Why is he like that? We have to find out the root cause. avoids generalization and abstractions. Okay, so we avoid generalization, always we treat them in an abstractions. He has limited initiative. So when they themselves does not take an initiative. Poor comparison of facts, slow habits of learning, make efforts but do not reach the goal, lacks originality and does not have a creative trend. So these are all the reasons. So that Salvian is telling about this, the scientist is telling something like this. Kinds of a backward children. There are two types of backward children. A child with low intelligence who cannot cope, we cannot cope with his schoolwork can be termed as a backward child. But Burton Hall, however, does not agree with this view. He holds that child may be backward due to the various other reasons. Okay, when he is not able to cope up with his education, they are considered as backward. So some scientist is telling that this is not, he is not agreeing with it. So there will be a lot of reason if the child is not been able to cope up with an education. We have to find out the root cause. The child with a normal intelligence who does not fare well with the class work may become a backward in specific subjects. His educational achievements are not satisfactory in certain subjects. So what happens here in the sense like, so there are 6 to 7 to 8 subjects, correct? So some people hate maths. I hate maths. I don't want to study maths because I do not understand it better. It is not easy going. So some students might tell, I hate social. So it's a lot of story, whatever is been already, it's a history, I just don't want to listen to them. I would like to listen like a story, but not all the ADs and BDs. Why do I have to remember the ADs and BDs? So this has happened in those days, that's enough. Okay, so according to situation, we will get to know in which days was this happened. So ADs, BDs, dates, dimensions, cities, place, a lot of things is been educated to us. Okay, out of it, is there any moral outcome? Out of it, is there any moral outcome? Are we going to learn something more? So already the technology is so much improved. We know about the sculptures, we know about the artwork which has been done our ancient people. So it should be told to us, but there should not be an exams which is been kept where we have to pass through. So many people argue this, isn't it? Social is a subject where we have to have a knowledge of it. So apart from this geography and apart from this sensible subjects, okay, apart from these history and all these things, it should be a subject, but nowhere we should be asking him to pass through that compulsorily. In our future, we do not really make utilize of history at all. So that is the way in this new education system, Modi ji has bifurcating it, and you can select the subjects accordingly. That is what he is trying to tell here. Causes of backwardness, individual limitations, family limitations and school limitations also makes lot of differences. Okay, why this limitations is going to take place? Low general intelligence, maybe they are in a borderline, and physical diseases like typhoid, brain fever, now this coronavirus, or sometime else the tuberculosis. Some diseases which is going to attack for our body. The disease might vanish. For that disease, whatever the medications is being taken, so that will make us weak through our entire life. If you have heard about this chikungunya, so many people, one who took the medicines for this chikungunya, they are suffering with the osteoporosis. Osteoporosis in the sense like, arthritis. They are suffering with the arthritis. Arthritis in the sense like they cannot fluently walk like us. They cannot fluently walk like us and bend like us. So it will get stuck like this much only they can move. The whole part they cannot move. It is stuck. This is called as an arthritis. The people who were being medicated for this chikungunya, if you remember, that was in 2006 and 2008 period. 2006 and 2008 period, people were suffering from high fever and all the bone joints used to pain, and that was being treated by our government. But now the people are suffering from arthritis. They cannot move the fingers and hands like us. So it will stuck. Slowly they have to move. They cannot do all the minute works. The fine motors development the fine motors will not work better for them. Okay. So because of the physical diseases whichever is come in between after our birth also matters a lot. Subnormal physical development, that is infants, some children have hereditary, that is they are speaking about hereditary. Physical deformities like low eye. So some people, as soon some children after their birth immediately they are supposed to use the glasses with the high power glasses they are supposed to use. and sight problem when they have that sight problem, low hearing capacity, they can hear but no low hearing capacity, stammering, stammering in the sense give, book. So they will be repeating something like this, stammering, speech problem, hearing problem, sight problem. This also makes the children get into this backward children, we can just tell. Family limitations, the size of a family. Sometimes the size of a family is too small also, it's a problem when they doesn't have the social size. Sometimes if the family size is too big also, it is a problem, we cannot concentrate on a individual's life. It should be a balanced. Poor economic conditions, already we have spoke about. Uneducated parents, so this also makes lot of differences on the child's life. Family conflicts, so lot of fighting happening in the family, mother fighting with father, father fighting with mother, and they are getting departed for some time, and divorcees and single parent or whatever it is. So bad habits of parents, whichever the bad habits is been followed by children, maybe smoking, maybe drinking, drunkards, maybe like whatever other bad habits. So bad habits doesn't have any limitations. Okay, so by these also children are affected. And extreme attitude of parents, extreme attitude, they never behave normally, either they behave too high, either they behave too low. So extreme attitude of a school parents also differs a lot. The role of a school, absence of social security. So what exactly the school should do, we have spoke many a time. Justice should be given, traditional method should be followed, traditional subject based on a curriculum. So curriculum should be planned better. So not always the curriculum, not always concentrating on a brilliant student, not always sticking on to something. It should be a permutation and combination, and we have to keep an eye on bullying children. So the direction becomes free to behave in his own way or whatever it is. So the schools also plays lot of differences. I will tell you a small example. So before 3 years back I believe, I saw in a news channel that many of in one of the famous school, very next to it there was a hookah bar, and children were sitting in the hookah bar. The 9th standard children were sitting in the hookah bar. Okay, hookah bar in the sense what? Something like smoke, the big bottle kind of a thing will be there with a wire in a royal families they used to use before, if you have heard about it. So even I have never tasted, I have never seen, I have just seen the pictures, and I have just seen in a palaces, that's all. So they used to go for this hookah bar with the different flavors, different colors or whatever. Is it a good habit? 9th standard children were being caught in the hookah bar in one of the famous school which is near this Richmond Road or MG Road or whatever. So these schools or this society or their economic status also matters a lot. For our school, for our area children, if you just ask them about hookah, they forget about hookah. They don't even know like there is something where we can see or we can do that, or children can do that. So our economy, whoever is staying in and around areas and something, so it differs from status to status, and some people will really not have money to buy the books. Some people will get into these kind of societies also. So directions or whatever, how exactly the school should be taking care of the children, we have learnt about it. Absence from the school. So sometimes what happens, long illness, okay, and parents, their parents are getting into this long illness, or the child own itself, or the transfers, very often transfers which is been taken place, ತುಂಬಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಗಳು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಲೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಂತ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ faulty school organization, there are two aspects of organization of the schools which are follows. If the school administration is autocrat, too much of strictness, autocrat in the sense like, why did you stand now, why did you sit now, so why are you going out, you are not supposed to take a single day leave, the homework should be done 5 pages tomorrow at any cost. So autocrat supervision, very tight supervision also will lead to all these things, and very loose supervision also will lead to all these things. They should have a proper controlled, everything should be in a controlled manner. Okay, improvement of the family conditions. How to improve the family conditions now? Educate the parents. Poor and deserving students, we have to encourage the poor and deserving students. And slum areas, lot of schools should be there. Compulsory primary education. So as I told you already, this is all for a below poverty line children. Okay, locating mental and emotional defects of a child. How do we locate the mental and emotional defects of a child? By testing their IQ level. Nowadays, if you go for any therapist, they will test the IQ level of your child and let you know, instead you forcing them to take up the professional courses. Okay, and avoiding the small adjusted children. Okay, and special curriculum, giving them a special curriculum for improving the school according to their gifted children or a special children or a backwardness children or whatever children. Various cultural activities they should be involved in, lot of various cultural activities they all should be involved in, using special techniques of teaching, that is methods, simple and interesting method. The child should be allowed to proceed with his own speed. The subject matter should be presented with the help of a various visual aids. We are going to speak about the visual aids in the future chapter. That is next lesson we are going to look, next subject we are going to look into what exactly this is. The uses of execution method, so how we have to execute it, what method should be followed, projective method and so teaching aids, what aids, visual aids, okay. All these aids we are going to look into in a future chapters. Utilizing all this, we have to improvise the school or a society according to the gifted child or an exceptional child or a backward child, what we can call it as. Okay, was the class interesting? Okay, you got to know many things today. You got to know many things today. I want you to implement in your personal life, then only you can start implementing as a school teacher in future. Okay. Thank you all. I don't have to, I don't want really you people to make boring by explaining more and more in this online classes. I mean, for me also continuously speaking for 1 hour without any interaction is difficult, and I hope you all enjoyed the class. By next class we are going to complete this subject. By next one class is enough for me to complete this subject. We will start up with the fresh subject. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Bye. Bye.